creating a new vlogging channel. I'm calling it Woodybrando's Wild Ride. And the first thing I want to do is I want to share with you this investment strategy that I came up with. Mentioned it on my social media a couple weeks ago and was waiting to actually release the open source software because it's going to be an open source GPL 3.0 software project. The project is up on GitHub right now. If you want to help us write the code, we started writing it for btc-e.com, which has since been seized by the FBI, and they have labeled the majority of its users as criminals and money launderers. That is not my experience. I've met interesting, intelligent, alternative people looking for an alternative to the banking system. The nexus of the horrors of this world is the central banking systems that we have throughout this world. Anyway, these are the kind of things that I want to talk about in later vlogs, as well as where the strategy came from. This did come from a kind of wild experience for me. Anyway, we're gonna go into that in another vlog. So I think something big is going to happen in the US dollar next year. If you look at this 1988 Economist cover that a lot of people are referencing, one way to interpret it is that in 2018, dollars are going to give way to a new currency, possibly a digital coin. As you see the 10 on the coin chest in the year 2018, a coin on the chest of a phoenix rising out of the flames of what looks like fiat currency. That being said, let's start looking for ways to hedge or diversify our investments so that we're prepared for what may come. So let's get started. The investment strategy is called EdenMatrixTrading because I initially had developed this strategy using a spreadsheet, and a spreadsheet is a matrix. Let's draw out the market here. This is gonna be price. This is going to be time. And with any investment strategy, what do you need? An investment. A good way for me to think of investment money is money that I could just throw away right now and be able to live my life without any worry the rest of the month. So not money that I would need to pay any bill, not money I would need in case of an emergency, money that literally has nothing better to do than potentially grow. So now I'm going to do this with very simple, very small numbers, just to help demonstrate how this works. So let's say we have an investment of $10 and we want to buy something and the current market for it is $5. And now I'm just going to build out this market because I want to work in a range on this market. I want my matrix top and my matrix bottom. So the math that I use to determine my matrix top is 2 times the current market. So the matrix top equals 2 times current market. The matrix bottom, this is very conservative because, you know, I would expect anybody watching this to be very new to investing and know very little about investing. So I want to give you a very conservative strategy. For now, it's just important to know that I'm choosing 2 times the market top and a quarter, 0.25. Okay. Down here we have the time. Let's make each one of these notches a day. It's gonna be time in days. Okay, so now let me build out my matrix range now that we have our bottom and our top. So this would be $10 because 2 times 5 is 10, and then 0.25 times 5 is $1.25. Okay, I'm gonna do $1 intervals. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and a penny. Okay, so $1.25 is our bottom, $10 is our top. So when I say a matrix, this is why. Because here comes the matrix. So we'll take our initial investment, divide it into 2, so $5 and $5. And what we're going to do is we're going to split the market into 2. Above mark and the below market. And what we're going to do is as above, so below. Meaning we're going to take $5 for our above market and leave $5 for below market. And you know what I just realized? To make this the math even easier, we're going to add a 0. So our initial investment is actually $100. Our above market is 50. Our below market is 50. This will make the math easier. So now we take this above market 50 and we buy at market. We get 10 coins. So now with our 10 coins, what we want to do is set up sells at each interval. I'm going to call these pegs. So currently the price is at the $5 peg. Now what we just did is we bought at 5. And so what we want to do is set up sells with our 10 coins, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions. And this gives us 2 coins to sell at each peg. So that means we have 2 for sale here, 2 for sale at 7, 2 for sale at 8, 2 for sale at 9, 2 for sale at 10. Because we don't know where the market's going to go. You know, before this, I would come to the market and I would say, oh, I feel good about Google stock. It's selling for $700 right now. I would put my entire investment into Google stock and then cross my fingers and hope it went up. And if it went up, then I wouldn't really know when to sell because I would think, well, it's going up. Well, doesn't that mean it would keep going up? And if it goes down, then you think, oh shit, maybe I should sell. I think I made the wrong bet. So you're just thinking way too much about your money. You're watching it too closely every day. That would be the first thing I do is wake up and look at the market and just worry. Worry if it was up, worry if it was down. And the whole time you're just obsessing about what you should or shouldn't be doing right now. This strategy just takes away the worry. You know, you're still as at risk as any market for if a market crashes to zero or disappears or gets seized by the FBI or any other international government entity. Yeah, that's a risk. That's a risk you take with any investment, is that the market can disappear. Here you have the protection and the ability to regenerate your investment. So let me show you how that happens. So with our other $50, what we're gonna do is we're gonna be setting up buys below. So I'm gonna put a 250 in here just to give us our 5th position. So that would be 4, 3, 250, 2, 125. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 positions that we want to set up buys below market. And this is where the magic kind of comes in, because your money goes further below market than it does at market. You know, because at market you're only going to buy at one price, the market price, which is $5. But if you're setting up for the potential that the price could go down to 4, 3, 252, 125, what happens is that just buying 2 of each doesn't get you to 50. 8, 6, 5, 4, 250 gets us to 10, 20, 5, 50. So really we can double our positions. So we can buy 4 at each position below market. So now this is exciting to me. This is how I want to invest. This is how I want to go to a market. I mean, this is a prepper's investment strategy. What's a prepper? It's someone that's ready for any outcome. So I'm ready for it to go down as low as $1.25. So say tomorrow the price goes to 6, and let's see what happens. So we're gonna end up selling 2 coins at $6, 2 coins that we just bought the day before for $5. So that's 12 bucks off of a $10 cost. That's a positive net of $2. And we've got 8 coins left because we had bought 10 coins and we just sold 2. So we're down to 8 coins. This means our current coin value is $8 times the new market price of $6 because the market's moved up, meaning our total current coin value is $48 and our cash on hand is $62. Because we have our $50 that's still safely locked into our below market price, and the $12 that just got unlocked by selling the 2 coins adds another 12. So that's 50 plus 12, 62. So 62 plus 48, $110. So on one day, off of the movement in your direction, we've made 10%, a 10% gain. But here's the trick to it, is to stop looking at your current coin value price. This is where the sweat and the nervousness and the anxiety exists. This is where all of the gut reactions live, is in the current coin value. This is pretty much, the only time you care about the current coin value is if you're getting out of a market, is if you're selling out your entire matrix. But that's not what we're interested in doing. So what actually matters is your retraces. So now you have a net positive of $2, meaning you have $2 extra, and you got to figure out what you want to do with that $2. The one thing I like to do is if you really see a market sitting in its range for a while, then I'm doing what I call dynamic volume retraces, meaning I put the profits into the rebuy. So that would mean I'm now buying $12 at my $5 peg. So that's what's 12 divided by 5 is 2.4. It's 2.4. So we're putting in a 2.4 rebuy. And that's because we have $12 released from the $6 peg. That's now going to the $5 peg. So divided by 5 equals 2.4. And what's fun, this is great for sideways kind of trading, because if a market is just sitting within a range, you keep pumping your volumes up because every retrace you're buying more. You're given more money to buy with. So, in just a few retraces, this number can grow from initially what it was a 2 peg. It was a 2 buy initially, and now it's turned into a 2.4. After 10 of these retraces, that could be like a 4 or 5 rebuy. And all you've done is let the money sit there. I've been doing it by hand in 3 different markets for the last 3 months. And I've got about 300% returns on all the markets, except for the one that is currently seized by the FBI, because we're all criminals, money laundering criminals, when the most criminal organization on the planet is the US government. And we'll be getting into that as this vlog unfolds. But first, we're going to start by trying to get financially free from this government and have a completely decentralized, or what I believe is a something ledger, decentralized ledger or something like that. Anyway, so now let's go to day 3. And bad news. Bad news for the market. It's gone down to $4. I'm sorry. Sorry, guys. I'm sorry I had you buy this coin at 5. I'm so sorry. No, this is beautiful. This is where you learn to stop worrying and love the red pillars, as they're called. Because if you watch a market chart, it's green pillars and red pillars. And a normal beginner noob investor just wants green pillars. But no, you want red pillars as well, because you got to restock. And that's what this is. We just treat the market like a market. And what do? You sell at increments that you would want to be sold to. So what I actually sell at is 1.5% increments. Like, rather than trying to gouge people and rather than trying to go to the market and win the lottery, you're just going to the market to create a market, to create a system of trade and exchange that people can trust and can depend on the price. So imagine an entire market filled with matrix traders. Okay, so day 3. After the high we got to taste of $6, why, God, why? Why did the price go down to 4? Or at least that's what it would feel like if I was using a different trading strategy. Because you bought at 5, you made the right bet, and you didn't sell because you thought the trajectory was gonna keep going up, and you fell off a cliff. Well, guess what? This is welcome to investing. This is what happens. And now we're at $4 overnight. So let's see what happens here. So what happened was we bought at 5, we bought 2.4 coins at 5, and we bought 4 coins at 4. This is where the magic of the strategy comes in, is once you reprogram your brain to appreciate your coin count going up as much as you appreciate your value going up. So first let's do our coin count. So we had 8 coins, then we bought 2.4 and we bought 4. So now we have 10.4, 14.4. I'm going to let the machine do the math. That's what they're very good at. 57.6. And then cash on hand is our remaining buys. So we get rid of this because that triggered. This triggered. And so our cash on hand is 12, 10, so that's 22, 8, 30, and 5. 35. Okay, so it's day 3. The price has gone down to $4. And our value, let's see what's happened to our value. So our coin count has gone from an initial coin count of 10. We now have 14.4 coins. We have a current coin value of 57.6 and a cash on hand value of $35. This is what's left in our still open buys. This gives us a total current value of $92.60. This is a totally arbitrary number. The thing we really want to pay attention to is our retraces. That's where you're folding money. You're folding money over itself, gaining new money. So I just want to take a second to compare a traditional investor that put all of their $100 at $5. They would have bought 20 coins and they would currently have $80 of value because their 20 coins would be worth $80. But look at us. We're at 92.6. Now, yesterday they would have been hooting and hollering, like looking at us, thinking we were nuts to do this hedging strategy because their value would have gone to 6 times 20 or $120. So they would have, yesterday they would have been at a total valuation of $120 while we were only at 110 with our hedge strategy, with our matrix strategy. But now look at us today. We're at 92.6 where they would be at 80. And we have locked in gains here. We've actually bought and sold. We've actually done a retrace here, which means we've locked in profits forever. We've locked in a percentage of a coin that can never be taken away from us that we've earned through a retrace buy. So I feel like this should give you a pretty good overview of how this strategy works. Oh yeah, so let me just say, so at the end of the day, sorry, we have to re-trigger ourselves now that we've bought extra coins. Didn't mean to skip that part. That's important. Okay, so this is why it's nice to have a redundant system. Sorry, the audio had to jump. I have to use the camera audio for a bit because after the camera shut off, I did not continue recording on the live mic until just now. So apologies. Anyway, we have to figure out what to do with our new coins because overnight we bought 6.4 coins. That means we have to put 6.4 coins back into our matrix. So we'll take our 2.4 that we bought at 5 and we will set up a sell of 2.4 at 6. We'll take the 4 we just bought at 4 and set up a sell at 5. So the $16 wholesale is going to turn into a $20 sell, should it trigger. So that's it. That's the basic strategy, and so on and so forth. So long as the market lives between $1.25 and $10, you'll just be getting free money for indefinite until that day comes. It could come tomorrow. You could go to 20 bucks tomorrow. You see this happen a lot in crypto. The very first time I implemented this strategy was on March 30th, 2017 in the Litecoin to USD market in BTCE, btce.com, which has just been seized by the FBI. How they have Northern California court has a jurisdiction over a Bulgarian company that makes it hard as hell for you to get USD in there. I was never able to get USD in there. I was able to get crypto coins in there, but I was never able to get USD in because I didn't have a European bank account. So how the F this Northern California company, yeah, exactly, company. How the F this Northern California court system believes they have jurisdiction over a Bulgarian company and citing a Russian citizen that's affiliated with it, doesn't even own the company, for jurisdiction, for justification to have jurisdiction over this company, and then they just throw out buzzwords, money laundering, criminals, terrorism, blah, 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 and then of course IRS. What I see this is as a attack. I see this, the US government, as pirates going around looking at the global landscape for any kind of accumulation of wealth that they can then go in and take. It's what they do time after time. They did it in Iraq, they did it in Libya, they're doing it now to the crypto because the crypto is a true alternative to the banking centers. I mean, we don't need banks anymore. We just don't. We simply do not need banks anymore. And that's what people are waking up to. Well, now the government needs to make us think we need banks again. And how do you do that? You start seizing assets and saying criminals, money laundering, unregulated. Well, guess what? There's no more criminality and terrorist funding going on than in the USD dollar. If we lived by that logic, well, then the US government would have been shut down long ago, because it is the #1 criminal enterprise on the planet right now. And we're going to be getting into that as this channel unfolds. And this information it's just flooding out. It's coming out everywhere. And here it is. This is one more channel opening up to kind of share this information, because I've come across so many whistleblowers. Like I said before, I'm going to put a bunch of names into the little description box below. But so many people have risked their careers, their lives, themselves, their families to get this information out to us, and they've paid the price. And the least we can do is listen to what they had to say. It's the time we, the people, take responsibility for what the government is doing in our names. We can no longer claim ignorance. There's too much information. There's too many good people trying to reach the other good people. If you want to know why the world's a mess, it's because the majority of people don't pay attention to what these people are saying. It's simple as that. It's normalization of horrific foreign and internal policy that has been normalized by the news. Anyway, don't need to go too far down that rabbit hole. I just wanted to start getting this strategy shared. Again, if you're a coder, if you know a coder, I've reached out to the Pizzagate, Pedogate community asking for their help in finding some coders to get this strategy turned into a trading bot that I'm calling EdenMatrixTrading. You can find out more about that. Just search github.com for EdenMatrixTrading. You'll find the project there. We have a BTCE client that was like 90% of the way towards working until the FBI seized and shut down BTCE. And supposedly it's going to come back online in the next week or so, but we'll see what happens with that. But anyway, for me personally, I think we're in a currency war, and this seizure of BTCE.com is evidence to me that it's on. And I'm okay with that. You know, once you double your initial investment after, say, 150 days, for me, I've seen it happen in about 30 to 100 days. I get my money out and I put it into a new market. So that's why I'm not sweating BTCE being seized, because I have enough profits in my other two markets to cover my losses. And I suggest the same. Become an anti-fragile crypto investor by letting these matrices sort of do what kombucha does and double over time and triple over time. And as they subdivide, you would take a kombucha mother, which subdivides every 100 days, say, or 30 days, and then you put it in another bucket, you start another kombucha mother system and let that subdivide. So in your second 100 days, you're going to have two different markets doubling. And on and on and on. That's the beauty of this system. Okay, I'm going to call this it for episode 1. I just want to get this thing cut together, and I want to get the strategy out and shared with everybody, because something big is happening in 2018. Go back to The Economist 1988 cover. The Economist is owned by the Rothschild family. Rothschild family is responsible for the central banks that have been installed in just about every country. What they want to do is scare us into whatever the hell new position they want to take against us. I mean, if you look at the most powerful country in the world being $20 trillion in debt, and debt being a subservient position, who is the most powerful government in the world subservient to? Watch the Money Masters documentary, look up Creature from Jekyll Island. Like, get real, man. If you tell me you do not have enough time to do this, well, that's by design. You don't have enough time by design. We're kept poor by design. Inflation is built into the system. So let's get some of that value back. Let's start actively trading. Let's start setting up matrix trading strategy in all of our markets, and let's help each other. Let's support our own financial ecosystem, because we're better people than the bankers. They've been given more than enough time and resources to prove what they're about. We just gave them what I read in a Forbes article yesterday. A $16 trillion bailout is what that 2008 bailout added up to. $16 trillion we gave away. I'm getting hungry, so I gotta cut this before I get hangry. And if this hasn't fully explained it, don't worry. I'm going to do another vlog on it tomorrow, and we're going to keep doing it until I feel like it's been explained as much as it needs to be. I know it's a simple strategy that gets a little bit complicated once you actually try to share it with others, but once it clicks for you, start trading this way. If you know how to code and you're a trader, please join us at EdenMatrixTrading and let's start getting this code out there for other people, because we really need to be our own banks. This is a way that we can put confidence into markets where fear is coming. They're going to come with their order out of chaos bullshit, as they always do. They're going to cause a panic in the USD markets within the next 18 months. It's going to be a currency panic, maybe a markets panic, and they're going to set up good old President Trump, who I feel no particular way left or right about him. He's a wild card as far as I can tell. But what a perfect person to pin a financial catastrophe on. And the reality is we just don't take the time to look at what's important. And that's by design, nothing to be ashamed of. It's just we live in a normalized society that makes entertainment our priority over our own financial security. I mean, it's absurd, but it's the reality of the world we live in. So let's get started on taking our personal responsibility for our financial security back. And the Eden Matrix Trading, I think, is going to be one of the core ways we do this. And that's why I'm sharing it. I believe in sharing information. I believe copyright is bullshit. It's a way to slow the progress of all of humanity. Because the more we share information, the faster we're going to get where we're going. And I think we're going to a really great place. I think we're going to a kind of freedom we can't even really imagine in our current system. Financial, human freedom, freedom from fear, freedom from scarcity, like all the shit that has ruled our lives since we were, learning to speak. It's all going to go away. And a new kind of abundance. And I'm getting hungry, so I'm getting all jittery. I got to end this soon. But good things are coming. And it's coming to everybody with a good heart that wants good things for other people. It's going to be a symbiotic society based on love of one another, not based on fear, which is what we're living in right now. We're living in a top-down, fear-based society that dictates to us what we need to be afraid of and why we should be afraid of it. It dictates our moral code, our ethical code, and the morals and ethics of the government are the lowest of the low. And I used to think Woody Allen was joking in his movies when he said the ethics of politicians were below child molester. But now that I've looked into pedogate, looked into the history of pedophilia and sexual violence against children inside of our own government, yes, it's documented. Seems crazy to you? That just means because the information hasn't reached you. And you got to ask, why not? We know the sports scores. Why don't we know that our... Anyway, welcome to Woodybrando's Wild Ride. We're going to be covering all kinds of things like this coming forward. And just thank you to all the pedogate researchers, all the whistleblowers out there, all the military men on the front lines that have seen firsthand the bullshit that is put forth by the Department of Defense versus the reality of the guys on the front lines that have to fight for these assholes that are just trying to steal resources from other countries. So, all right, cool. Welcome to the Eden Matrix Trading. Welcome to the Woodybrando channel, and subscribe if you want to see where this wild ride's headed. All right, bye-bye.